Okay, from Golf Zero, Uniform Kilo November, now coming up on AM. Okay, yeah, regards the, I don't know if Frank's still listening, regards the power output, I'll ask Alan, the transmitter engineer, about that, because I was not aware we were turning the power down overnight. The power we're permitted is 4 kilowatt CRP. The antenna is a shortened monopole, and the agreement is we can run 6 kilowatts carrier power out of the transmitter, and it will be roughly 4 kilowatt CRP, and the transmitter's barely ticking over at that, and when it was set up, getting any less than 6 kilowatts out of it was proving a problem to get it to work properly and reliably. So I don't think the power is turned down overnight, but I'll ask. Interesting one there. I've honestly got no idea. I'm just looking at, I'm slightly low. Okay. Yeah, so we found out about it. We're running the playback reserve, which is being driven by the Marantz Studio microphone, Optimod, and that's going via an Alesis rack-mounted mixing console. So that's what I'm running on this side, and I'm running that in the wide daytime position, but from my point of view, I can still see that it's not going much above sort of 4 kilohertz in each direction. Okay, and Mark, you sounded okay earlier on that 101E on AM. They don't receive very well on AM because it goes through the sideband filter, but you sounded all right on it earlier. So round to Mark. M0JCF, G0UKN in the group.
Yeah, G0UKN. I'm hoping that everything's okay here. When I first come on to AM, you sounded perfect, and then you went, oh, I'm a bit low, and suddenly I had to retune you. So I don't know. I don't know where I am now. I don't know if I'm right, wrong, or otherwise. But anyway, it'll all come out in the wind when you're plus 40 to me. And I know Frank isn't on, so it's round to Dave. M0 WDV, M0 JCF in the CRAY Valley Top Band Net AM section.
M0 JCF, M0 WDV. Yeah, thank you, Mark. call copied, and let me just check the power. 8 watts carrier, so it's okay. Yeah, you both sounded amazing. Guy, very, very beautiful signal, and likewise Mark. It sounded like you were maybe a few hundred hertz low, but it still made absolutely no difference to the sound quality that I was hearing, and both of your signals were well over 5.9. The needle was touching the 40, so very nice signals there. Yeah, I've noticed that my rig has got 2 settings. It's got AM and AM-N, which I presume is narrow. At the moment I'm just on AM. Let me just briefly switch to AM-N. Okay, coming back on AM-N, I don't know if that sounds any different. Perhaps David, M0WTDT, you can let me know whether the first part of my over is better than my second, or vice versa, or if there was any difference whatsoever. M0WDT from M0WDT.
I think you went QRT, mate.
Okay, so in that case, C0FDP from M0WDV. Yep, okay there, Dad. Actual fact, when you was on the AM which you started on, that was a second signal for me, but when you went to the piano one, I just couldn't hear you at all. It was nowhere near, a lot of noise on it as well, but when you was on the normal side, when you passed over to guide you, or to Mark you, it was okay. So, in my opinion, stay where you are on that one. Because on the AM on my rig, I don't think I've got anything like AM narrow or anything like that. I've just got AM on the side of it. That's the rig I've got here. And that's not only HS only as much, so that's probably why. I know that when guys, before guys start to talk, because I know on this particular radio, the AM side is a very noise, very bad high noise. As soon as guys start talking, noise disappears completely. Clear as a bell, no problem whatsoever. But the small one there, Dad, it was okay, but noise to start with, as soon as we started to talk on the radio, it was okay still. Mark, you were okay, no problem with you, you're the same. Bit of noise to start with, but then as soon as you start talking, that noise goes. But you're not as loud on that particular AM setting as you are on the SSC setting. So I can hear you, no problem at all. But you're a little bit quiet for me, you would be normally on SSC, and now you're on the AM. I can hear what you're saying, but you're not quite as high speed level as you did on the SSC side. Okay? Right. And I think right, no problem. As soon as I talk to you now, I can get that whole noise come up, and then see what's right. If we back on the other end there, that noise disappears completely. There's no noise at all on that end, it's just clear as a bell. But when there's something on there, noisy, that noisy, it's horrible. But there you are. As soon as someone starts talking, it's fine. Back over to you guys, hopefully, and see you at FTP. Yeah, G0FDP, G0UKN. Yeah, well, everybody's a really good copy. I would say, Dav, you could probably give that more audio, so it'll take some setting up. It sounded thin compared to Mark. It sounded thin, and for that matter, I'd say it was a similar sort of quality to Frank's, and then you disappeared, and then you came back, and it sounded even thinner, which I assume was AM narrow, and that sounded even thinner. But I wouldn't bear much. What's the word I'm looking for? But the receiver I'm using is a 1958 Geloso G209, so I wouldn't put much score by it, to be honest with you, but Mark was very, very, nice and butch and loud sounding. It was a lovely sounding audio considering it's an FT101, which don't normally produce the greatest AM in the world, it sounded absolutely fine. As I said, this is plate and screen modulated AM, and I can see it wanging over to 100% modulation. I can see that on the modulation scope as well. So, you know, in the height of ridiculousness here, we've got a 1958 transmitter running into, you know, being modulated by a professional Optimod, and then I'm monitoring it with a scope. I've also got the Rigol spectrum analyzer on, because I peak this thing to minimise the second harmonic, and so it's overkill in every way, really. Regarding Radio 4 long wave, yeah, it will be sad for a lot of people when that goes off, and I don't think they realise quite how much it's listened to. I was reading an article recently about places in remote Wales, places in the Highlands, you know, all over the place where the FM signal is not great and the DAB signal is non-existent. Also, interestingly, talking about switching off medium wave, BBC Radio Scotland has just invested in new medium wave transmitters, because they have no intention of switching off medium wave, because it will not reach the Highlands and Islands otherwise. They can't do it. They literally can't do it. There's no internet service that's reliable enough. There's the FM coverage is rubbish. The DAB coverage is non-existent. So there's a lot that has been switched off, but it's mostly financial, really. As far as Caroline is concerned, there's 30 plus kilowatts of solar array there. So during the day, during the summer, it costs basically zero to run. So they've cut down the power bill a hell of a lot compared to where it was, just by putting the solar arrays in and spending a bit of money on that. There was the BBC whining about, we're on our last transmitter valves for the thing that they're running on long wave, and IMAC immediately put their hands up and said, yeah, we'll make you some more. How many do you want? And that argument went out the window, because yes, they can get the PA valves, because IMAC will make them to order. So that's not a problem. It's all about money, really, and it's all about literally about the power it's costing to run it for what is honestly a decreasing audience. The main reason long wave's still on is because there's still a large amount of economy 7 meters out there. You've got a large amount of people which smart meters don't work for, because they're not in transmitter range. You know, they're not in cellular range for that kit for the IoT smart meters, and they're still scratching their heads about what to do about that. It's just, it's what it is. So it will get switched off at some point, but I don't know when. Caroline has, at the moment, I think, got a license until 2032, I think it is, the license lasts still. And Caroline has no intentions of switching off AM. AM has been a huge success for Caroline, partly because, you know, all the gold stations have disappeared, a lot of the local stations have disappeared. It has very, very good coverage of the southeast. Interestingly, as the high-powered stations have been switched off over the country, around the country, around Europe, Caroline's coverage around Europe has increased. There were stations in Spain on 639, 648 and 657. They were switched off in December, and there's people listening to 648 at night and sort of on car radios down as far as sort of Seville and Granada. I could hear Caroline even before that was switched off. I could hear that up in the Andalusian mountains back in September. At night there was 648, and you listen to the FDRs around Europe. Caroline have asked for a power increase up to 10 kilowatts carrier power, and Ofcom are currently sucking through their teeth about that one. So hopefully, there should be no reason why they shouldn't. They've been asked by Ofcom to sort of widen the bandwidth, but they've held back on that. They've played with it, but widening the bandwidth just makes it worse for fringe area listeners, and increases the amount of current that increases the power cost. So it's a bit self-defeating. Okay, back round to Mark for one more round, I guess, and then we ought to knock it on the head because it's getting quite late. M0JCF, G0UKN.
Yeah, G0UKN, M0JCF. Not sure if you drifted a bit there, Guy. I noticed your audio was getting thinner and thinner, and I looked at the S meter and I see you dropped from plus 40 down to plus 30, so I retuned up the band slightly, and wham, you come back up to plus 40 and the audio went very nice again. Very nice audio, that is, all things considered. So it's either your radio's drifting or my one was drifting, but who can tell? It's probably a moot point. There's only three of us. Yeah, there is only four of us on, isn't there, including myself. But yeah, Frank's it never sounds strong on AM, but it could just be his antenna. Bearing where he is in relation to me, Frank's got an unusual low signal compared to what I would expect, but it could also be because we're relatively close and we're doing ground wave. It could be just that. I mean, there is every conceivable idea there that me and you, Guy, for instance, we're working skywave because my antenna is completely NVIS. On this band, it's not a DXer at all. It could be my signal goes straight up and then comes straight back down right on top of us, and that might be why you and Frank get me so well. I don't know. And Dav, your radio sounding nice. I didn't notice any difference between AM and AM narrow, but I would hazard a guess that once again we are so close. You're plus 50 to me, and on my ear holes just aren't discerning that. Well, it was nice to run this radio up today on both SSB and AM. It's a first for me on AM, so quite pleased with that. Just looking at the external meter, peaking about 30 watts, I suppose, depending how loud I speak. Dead carrier. Yeah, dead carrier about 9 watts thereabouts, maybe a bit less. But yeah, quite pleased with the way that it's performed and it's behaved itself. Guy, absolutely. I think I was paranoia last time. I must have seen something else happen, but I don't know why I perceived. Maybe it was a perception. I'm sure I saw that current go running away with itself. Yeah, say medium waves. I don't tend to listen to medium waves these days, but I do sometimes out of nostalgia, that sort of thing. One of my old radios goes on. I think it's a given that you have to listen to medium wave, long wave, and below. I like to listen to beacons way below the long waves. You can normally hear like the Greek beacons, that sort of thing, down I don't know, below 100 kilohertz, I think they are. I can't remember. It's been a little while, but I used to just listening, the ident in Morse, that sort of thing. But yeah, I miss the DXing days on medium wave, the late nights, early mornings, the all-nighters I used to pull just to log, certain stations around the world on medium wave. But yeah, I suppose nostalgia's a funny thing, doesn't it? It gets you all gooey. But I think I'll stick with what I've got at the moment. Anyway, thanks for a fantastic net, Guy. I really enjoyed it, as I say, and it's always a great opportunity to run this old gear. I'll probably use this one a couple of times. I don't know what I'm going to do about it yet. I'll probably keep it for a while if it's going to behave itself. Otherwise, yeah, it will be going to a new home, I should imagine. My old Kenwood, you know, I love my Kenwood, and it works so well, this one I've got. The filters in it are exceptional, and zero noise on 10 metres all day, all night. It's fantastic. Other radios, you know, the noise picks up to about S1, S2 when people turn certain things on in my neighbourhood. But this Kenwood, no, I haven't seen it happen once. So you can work United States and on 10 metres and have quite good rag chews. I was yesterday having a rag chew with Dan in Wisconsin, a WA9 in Madison, Wisconsin. I got a friend who lives in Fond du Lac, just up by Lake Winnebago. So I sort of feel that I know the area. So when I talk to him in Wisconsin, and likewise with Florida and California and Arizona, all these places that I've been to multiple times, I sort of almost feel at home when I'm talking to them. Anyway, that was a bit of a nostalgia ramble, and I'm going to wish everyone very best 73. Thanks for joining. I really enjoyed myself. M0 WDV, M0 JCF. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah, cheers, Mark. M0 JCF, M0 WDV. Now, I just tried turning the microphone gain up, and thanks for the advice on the thin modulation, Guy. So, just seeing if that makes a difference. What number am I on now? I'm on number 60 now. I'm going to turn it up again. So, Frank, when you come back to me, you let me know whether it sounds better, worse, or distorted. I'm going to turn it up to 80 now. Okay, so the modulation is 80 now. Yeah, my ALC meter is not really doing any much, so that's probably not useful on AM. But yeah, this is 80. Let me know if this is too much, if it's distorted. Let me turn it back down. Let me turn it down to 50. Right, modulation is now, sorry, the microphone gain is now 50. Right, that's enough from me. I'm going to say thank you very much, Guy, for running the net. And Frank, I don't think I gave a report last time. You're 5 and 9 with me on AM. So best 73 to all, and hopefully see some of you on Thursday at the club meeting. And I appreciate some comments on those microphone gain settings. Frank, C0 FTP from M0 WDV 73. M0 WDV from C0 FTP. Right. The audio settings on the lower 50 and then up to the higher 80. For me, the audio really, I'm only going by my ears, I'm not going by any mechanical checking to see if it's high or low or whatever it is. But for me, the actual audio didn't change at all. Maybe slightly sharper, but that's the only critical thing I might say. It's a bit critical, but the audio is perfectly clear for me, no problem at all. So that's what I think anyway. Maybe the guy's got a better opposition than I have to say that it's a little bit different to me. But I know that with the AM on my wrist is well, I don't know if it's AM, narrow AM or whatever, it's just AM as far as I can do. And you're 5 and 9 plus 20. Yep. And I think obviously the mark is about 5 and 9 plus 30, so it's a little bit more tough. Mind you, I'm not working with a person, I'm working with a horizontal G5RB. That's what I do. So my signal, I don't know if I think it's just go along the ground mode. I mean, that's slow. I don't know if that's slow, but I'm not sure. Horizontal stuff. So there you go. So, I can more or less do everybody. So it's only about 15 no problem. Guy is obviously the best of his quality
help them to try and listen to the radio when they come up on there. They're particular audio and there's no problem at all. Anyway, I'll put it over to you guys. I've asked to say something to you, so I'm not sure if you have to be on the AM and the SSB tonight. I don't always get on it, because I'm not always about to do so, but you know, I think that's coming down and team up and see how we get on. Over to you guys. 20 UKM, 20 SSB.
Right, back on 1907 dead. Oh, that's a bit weird. What's going on? Wallow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, so I didn't notice any difference in your audio either, Gav. When you were changing it just seemed the same each time. So, not sure what to suggest on that. Obviously there might be a different mic gain control for AM as for SSB. So I wouldn't put it past it being a completely different menu setting, but who knows. But it sounded okay. I mean, it's very, very clear. It's just not got a great deal of depth to it, but you don't expect that. And I'm just looking at the news up there. So probably about it. Whatever. Mark, as to regards my audio going thin, what you've got to remember is you've got a 2.4 kilohertz passband filter. That 101E does not have an AM filter in it, and it's running it past the SSB filter. So unless you're exactly on frequency, I will start to sound thin because you know I'm running AM. And as soon as you're off it, you're probably drifting to, I'm probably drifting sort of to the edge of your pass band, and it all starts to sound a bit weird. Okay, well, thank you very, very much, everybody, for a nice net. I've thoroughly enjoyed this evening's net. Nice to chat to you all. Gav, haven't heard you on here for a little while, I don't think. I'm looking forward to hearing a few. I think, yeah, you did come on with a homebrew transmitter, didn't you, last time? But I'm looking forward to a few more of these homebrew transmitters coming on, and I hope to get my finger out also and put something homebrew together for up here. Right, well, I'm not going to be at the club on Thursday because we've got a gig to go to. I will not be missing the 19th. I'm really looking forward to the one on the 19th, so I'll be at that one, but we're out this Thursday as far as I'm aware. I wish everyone a 73s and have a very good evening, everybody, what's left of it, and catch you further down the Caspill. So this is Golf Zero Uniform Kilo November in southeast London, closing down the CRAY Valley, first Monday of the month, top band net AM section. Cheers and beers all.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for running the net tonight. And do the FPV.
Yeah, cheers, Guy. And a message for Dave. 60 sounded best to me. There was, to my ears, 60 sounded best. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mark. I will check all the menu settings. There's some weird, all kinds of settings here. There's something called AMC, which I need to learn about, which is slightly different to compression, and it's all very complicated. So, yeah, still lots to learn on this rig. Thanks very much for running the net, Guy, and thanks very much for that report, Mark. 7-3 to all from M0WDV.
Yeah, and a quick message for Guy, if you haven't hit the off switch yet. Yeah, thanks for the advice. And that, of course, yes, if it's got a narrow band filter, yeah, I'm constantly tweaking for everyone not being where I should be. But thanks for that. Okay, M0JCF is clear. I think the frequency is now clear for use.